How's it going?
Hey, how are we?
Hello, how are
Hello, how are we?
you? Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So I had someone, I don't know if you know her, Baroness Kit. She was asking for a solution to create subtitles for her podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, we just did that.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Hmm,
So I've known her for a while. So I sent her the collab notebook with all the details removed.
that's nice.
Now is it possible for us to sell Google collabs for $1?
Google collab for execution, $1 for execution?
To clone it, we'll create the 10 lessons.
You're saying $1 for it.
Um, We'll figure it out. I was looking at your email, your message about the folk. So that project is becoming serious, eh?
Oh, which project?
The one that you were looking for the API and the interface designer.
I didn't get that. The API and the interface we wanted for an app, you mean?
Yeah, the one you texted me about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's for the taxi startup. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these folks are really, you know, um, working together as a group to figure out how they can, collaborate and cooperate to get business and give it to each other rather than being, in a conflict. So what they are doing is if someone is busy, they get a call from a customer, they give it to someone else and vice versa. So this is quite, I was thinking about it today, how the application, I mean, instead of application, more of a user experience or how would it look like? And I made a few notes today on WhatsApp, of course, but uh,
So let's begin with the end in mind.
yeah, that's Zach.
Um,
Zach is within you. Okay.
that's it. Well, technically, it's Stephen Covey,
The coffee.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, the clones.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So let's begin with the end in mind.
Yeah, let's see.
What does what does success look like? And let's imagine we could wake up tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
and we gave them or showed them, right,
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z. What would their reaction be?
They would be, when I spoke to this guy, I mean, I used his taxi service for quite a number of times for airport and the railway station. And when I came here in my native, I asked him on the phone uh, because I asked his one of his friends who work in that group of. I mean, they say it's 50,000, 40 to 50,000 people. The taxis. This guy alone has 1,400 people.
1,400 people.
Yeah,
Um,
1,400 cab
so
drivers, something like that.
what what is his campaign moment? What is his outcome?
So what they are doing is, in order to get the lead, share the lead, they are using WhatsApp and Telegram. So I asked him, would you like an application or something of that sort that can help you get to this? execute this daily business easier, and said, yeah, it's good. I told him that you know I'll build it for you, and whatever money is there for building, I won't take from you the profit. I will build it for you. That's it. And he was asking what is the cost. I said, you give me the data about the transactions. So he said, once you come back to Bangalore, we will sit together and I have the data, I'll share it with you. Maybe he's having difficulty in sharing over the email, maybe for
Well,
technical.
it's also a he has to trust you too, right?
Yeah, and maybe the challenges with the emailing stuff and all that technical aspects. But he was very
So
happy,
okay,
jumping with joy, saying, "Yeah, it will be very good, and uh, you, I would love
so
to have that app."
so let's go back to his outcome.
Hmm.
Um, he makes money when he takes people from point A to point B.
Yeah,
That's correct.
yeah.
And he would like to increase the amount of people he's taking from point A to point B. That's correct,
Yeah.
right? So he wants more customers to take from point A to point B.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So right now, it sounds like he's dissatisfied with the time and coordination it takes
Mhm.
to get a person from point A to point B. Am I still on the right track?
Uh, what you're saying?
Right now he's using a Telegram group
Mm,
and WhatsApp
yeah.
to take people from point A to point B.
To get
And what
the
he's saying is,
good to get the lead, of course, because all the driver details and other things he sent to
mhm,
the customer. Yeah, yeah, over the WhatsApp.
right.
Mhm.
So he's dissatisfied with the current way that he identifies and takes people from point A to point B.
Yeah, because it is cognitive load. Typically, it's
Yes,
yeah,
yes, okay. And it could be lost leads if you're not fast enough.
yeah.
Lost drivers if
It
you're not
is
fast enough.
slow as well. Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mhm. By the way, when you say
His
point A to
business,
point
yeah,
B, it is out of these 2 points, one is definitely airport or railway station. He's not doing like Uber stuff.
okay,
Uh, yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, okay, gotcha.
Mm,
So, right now, we have a business owner who makes money by identifying and taking people from point A to point B.
yeah.
Right now, in order to coordinate this service
Mhm,
involving human beings and their cars,
mhm,
they're using Telegram and WhatsApp.
yeah.
So, the idea of the application would be to migrate the coordination activities happening on Telegram and WhatsApp
Mhm.
into a faster, more easy to use application. Am I still on the right track?
Yeah, easy to use application. I call it.
Easier to use.
Does anything like Cabody? I don't know, weird name.
Okay, so before you go, I just want to get the facts straight.
Mhm,
We have a business who makes money by identifying people who want to go from point A to point B.
yeah,
In this case, the hub of point A and point B is an airport or a railway station.
yeah.
Right now, there is friction in the lead identification and sales processing because they're using WhatsApp and Telegram to do the coordination. And if there was a solution
Mhm,
that allowed them and incentivized them and motivated them
mhm.
to coordinate faster, that's something that would add more to the bottom line and help them grow faster.
Yes, that is right.
Okay, go ahead, Casey.
Oh,
And
Casey is
instead
there.
of
Oh,
what's up,
hello,
Manish? How you doing?
hello, hello, Casey. Hey, Ryan.
I have a thought for you to consider.
Uh,
You said migration from WhatsApp and Telegram, and I would propose keeping WhatsApp and Telegram and only broadcasting those channels to other mediums versus migrating.
yeah. I mean, I didn't think of migration. What I'm saying is currently they are coordinating with WhatsApp and Telegram, and you know, imagine this: what the end state that because I don't want to change their business model. You know, I cannot Uberize them because then there is always someone who can Uberize. What I'm thinking is currently what happens is they advertise locally. Someone like me sees that advertisement saying, um, "Oh, I can go from my home to the airport in just 950 rupees." Whereas Uber and Ola charges for the same trip for 1500 bucks. Okay, so which means I can get benefited because they are directly cutting off the Uber share. That is one aspect. That's what he told me, that customers are happy because I can give them cheaper rate. Second, they are very, you know, um, of conscious of their reputation as a group. And the third was, um, so they don't include any driver of Uber into their group just like that. They have all this with background verification process and stuff like that. But one is the cheaper rate that, of course, we cannot build much of a moat around. But second is the personalization. No, when I say personalization, I mean giving the human touch to the digital world. Currently, Uber, when you book a cab, the customer or the rider does not have much of a connect with the cab driver. Tell me if you think that is a fair statement.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
And I think the whole point here is not to change what they have going, but only to promote or create awareness of what they're doing.
Exactly, and
Right?
helping. Good. Sorry, Casey. Good.
So if you just show people what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
across, say, let's say you made a TikTok
Mm-hmm.
or a YouTube video that's updated, whatever, some any alternate channels,
Mm-hmm.
and you can hashtag it with that specific airport or that specific railway. So people surfing social media might discover this.
Yeah, yeah. That is when. Hold on, please. That is when the app is ready and people we want to get people or customer onboarded. But what happens now is the customer calls the cab driver. Cab driver says, "Okay, you will get the." So they are using WhatsApp business account. So the cab driver says, like Suresh, in my case, he says, "Okay, you will get the driver details before 30 minutes from your pickup time." Now he may give it to someone else, or he may come to my place. Um, it depends on the availability. So sometimes when he's busy, he gives it to someone else without any commission, and similarly, someone else will give it to him without any commission. So they work together, and this is kind of a, you can say, kind of a broadcasting itself, right? But um, what if the customer says, "Oh, I want to book Suresh," right? There is a personal touch to it. So as the customer and Suresh would say, I'm not available. This is another guy, Lohit, who is available. And I had this good experience with this person as well. So now, as a customer, I have two favorite drivers in my application, right? So I won't broadcast it to everyone, preferably, as long as they are available. I would like to ride with them. And since there are only 2 points of like drop and pick up, either you're wherever you are in the city to the airport or railway station, or when you reach railway station or airport, you want to go home wherever you are in the city. So that's the only target for now. Whereas Uber,
I like that twist.
yeah, whereas Uber does, point to point, and but we are not going there yet. We want to keep it very simple because his current business here, as he's marketing, is very, very, we see the Venn diagram, right? It's very niche. He wants to target that, and he's so busy. He says Saturday, Sundays are like hell to me. Like we all people are so busy that we cannot tell you how much we are. And so this cognitive load that they have. I remember I reached airport, Bangalore airport from my native, and I forgot to book a cab or Uber. Typically, anyone can book an Uber, after they reach. That's fine. But I thought this guy was good last time, so I called him again. I said, "Boss, I just reached, and I'm planning to leave from here in 15 minutes because I'm having something to eat. And can you arrange?" He said, "Give me 5 minutes, sir." And then in 5 minutes, he sent the driver details. So because he's targeting airport, he knows that there will be demand and there are people who can serve. I mean, the taxi drivers. I never got a cancellation from him, whereas Uber people simply cancel without any responsibility or understanding implications of what it means when someone cancels the cab, when the driver cancels the cab. So these are some of the things that I see as, very positive. Now, there is another twist to this. I mean, sorry about the the rambling here. Um, Stop me if you want to at any time. Uh,
It's okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna say earlier. It's
No,
like
I was gonna
a
say this gets kind of boring. No,
ah.
what?
Well, dude. So I mean,
no,
it's like a
this is great.
it's like a combined carpooling,
Mhm.
chauffeuring.
Mhm. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
ooh. Manish, has he ever thought about um uh? Well, I was gonna ask how many of the customers
Mhm.
are repeat customers.
Almost all. His churn rate is very low.
Okay. So there's an opportunity there to connect with Casey's idea of a chauffeur. Because the chauffeur is not a chauffeur.
Mhm.
A chauffeur is an individual human
Mhm.
being who can actually carry a conversation with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is
It's,
turning out to be.
right? Imagine it. I'm just thinking, what if you had like really hot women drive the car?
Oh man, you're
Maybe
gonna start a dating service after the success of this application.
Oh wait,
What?
what if you used therapists?
Oh man,
oh,
you are taking the
Oh,
Venn diagram to a level, another level.
yeah, I think he's talking about the dark triad actually.
Yeah, the three circles. Yeah, the therapist. But for now, as an MVP, we will just deliver the services. But yeah, do you mean the driver focuses on driving and the therapist is on the bucket seat beside?
Well, here's the thing though, like I imagine that if your customers are coming from railway stations and airports,
Mhm.
then they're probably semi affluent people,
Yeah.
right? And so if they're semi affluent people, is there an opportunity to sell ad space on the back of the door headrest?
wait. What about office space in the car?
Oh.
So I'm a financial advisor, and I'm going to spend 5 hours today writing with people, talking to them about their portfolios as they're on their way to their job. And that car is now effectively my office.
Yeah, that's possible. But these guys need an upgrade a little bit more as they earn. That's an investment, I think, because currently they don't have Wi-Fi in their cab. But yeah, that's another.
So let's say that I'm already paying for a therapist,
Mhm.
and I have an option to bail on my current therapist in lieu of a mobile therapist that more easily fits into my schedule, and I like them, and I can get my therapy in on my 1 hour drive to wherever.
Or if they're semi-affluent men, then they're probably interested in like a dominatrix, right?
Any
And you just get that
services,
down to the car.
medical services, you can have your health review on your way to work in your
Hey,
car.
you want to take some blood? It's going to take you 5 hours to do the analysis anyways.
Mm.
So one of the things that I think we don't have to solve this today, you know, but what we're doing is just gathering information and fact. And if he has a core base of repeat customers,
Mhm.
that means you're working with a client who has something that people can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and
Because I'm sure they've
and
tried.
in 3 years they have grown like from 3,000 to this other guy is telling me 30, 40,000 people. 40,000 drivers. You mean they have how they talent trade, on the airport and railway station. They walk up to a Uber driver or Ola, just first get the essence of the appearance of the car, the appearance of the driver, the way they keep themselves and stuff, and then they start inquiring, and then they approach with the opportunity. Like, you seem to be a fit person here. Would you like to earn? Because another twist that I didn't tell you is the money that the customer pays. It's directly to the driver instantly.
How dare
Oh
you?
yeah, you see. Whereas in the Uber's
Well,
case,
Casey brought up an interesting point where I was initially proposing this as a solution away from their current channels, but maybe there's something socially beneficial of these channels. I would like to see these channels and see how they talk to each other
Mhm,
and see if they're talking about driving, or maybe they're talking about their wives, or maybe they're talking about the time, you know what I mean?
mhm,
Their kids,
mhm, mhm,
right? Right?
mhm.
Because if we have them talking to each other, I imagine they're like, you ever be in a back of a taxi and they're talking to each other the whole trip
The
over the
the
intercom?
drivers, you mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
exactly.
Yeah, they do. You know what? They murmur to say, "This road is blocked. Don't take this one. I just came from there."
Let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell you something right now because I'm editing the podcast from yesterday. And one of the models is going to be swear words. I find when I look up for everywhere people said fuck, there's good content around it.
Uh-huh.
When people say shit, there's good content.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
I think there is a crazy content opportunity
Hmm.
with taking out really funny snippets from their conversations.
Uh-huh. I will ask him to add me to their
Yeah.
Instagram and WhatsApp so that I can observe the conversation.
Let,
But only if
let's
this
observe
guy
the
permits
animal.
me.
Let's observe the animal in its natural habitat.
Yeah.
I remember I was working with a guy who used to work for Google Ventures as a design sprint master. And he said they were building an app for insurance agents who were on the road.
Mhm.
And they were thinking about building, this is like over 10 years ago. So they were thinking about building a map app for the insurance agent, right? This whole one-stop shop app for insurance agents.
Mhm.
And when he went on a car ride with one of the insurance agents, he realized that they were already using Google Maps to do their navigation.
Mhm.
And so they were like, hey guys, we don't have to build a mapping app. This is what they use already, right?
Mhm.
This is where they're comfortable. So I think once you immerse yourself with their communications,
Mhm.
um, I'm learning that there is something value. The one thing Uber doesn't have
Mhm.
is a social app for its drivers.
Mhm. Okay. But they do socialize on the phone call. I see what you mean. As long as it's not distract. I mean, audio doesn't distract people while driving. So that could be a very good, like Twitter Spaces for uh, the cabbies. Yeah.
I guarantee you, there are some of the funniest comedians in India driving a cab right now.
Yeah, I bet,
I'm telling
I
you,
bet, I bet.
even in Canada, some of the best conversations I've ever had in Canada has been with Uber drivers,
Oh man, yeah.
right?
Mm.
So if you can capture that gold,
Mhm.
are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Are you kidding me?
Hmm. Yeah, so that's why I said personalized experience, and Casey took it to another
Look,
level where he said,
every,
uh-huh.
every one of those cab drivers is a driving podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. And you know, so my thought was ride with your favorite chauffeur, whatever, as Casey said. Let's maybe we can change the word chauffeur, use something else, but ride
Well,
cab buddy, like your cab buddy, which I was thinking,
Your traveling companion.
yeah, traveling
I was going to ask
companion.
many.
Casey.
Another thing I would want to
Uh-huh.
know is when someone, because they have regulars,
Mm.
do they book both trips to and from the airport or the railway station,
Yeah,
or do they
I
book them one at a
no,
time?
I did that to and fro once. Um, so we had an acting class very early in the morning, and then one of the cases, my mother-in-law was supposed to come at the 6 o'clock train, 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's a little bit dark sometimes, meaning the sun has not risen, and so I told my wife I mean, just a few hours earlier that I cannot make it. Sorry, and he said I was looking up to you to go and pick her up. I said okay, let me talk to Suresh and ask him for a to and fro, and he gave a to and fro. So the guy waited there. So my wife picked my mother-in-law, like her mother, and then they came back, and that too cheaper than Uber. So when I looked into that, the rates at that time, it was like more than Uber. It was Uber was more. So I had that experience. It may be
Well,
less.
I
Sometimes it may be, but
it
more often than
it
not.
sounds it sounds like though, if it was a little more expensive,
Mhm.
you'd rather go with this guy than Uber.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Does that make sense?
After
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trips now, I would
so
not choose
what
Uber.
that tells me, what that tells me is, to a certain extent, they don't have to compete on price the way other services do
Yeah,
because of the relationship that is built.
yeah, they have already built it.
And let me ask you this: how many of their repeat customers want to support this company because of the way that the company is naturally structured?
My percentage guess, I will ask him, but my guess is 80, more than 80%.
So you're saying more than 80% of the customers
Mm.
believe in the company's mission more than anything else?
Yeah,
Okay.
You asked one more question,
So,
which I answered. I forgot that. What did you ask before this?
um, did you need to hire people to do any of this? Do you think, or you just still gathering information, doing a reconnaissance?
I'm gathering information from that person directly. Uh,
Um, this is good. So, I guess using all of this technology has taught me that what I think I'm going to need for the solution is not necessarily what I need for the solution. Right? You know, um, I also think about the idea of being minimally invasive,
hmm. Yeah, yeah,
right? About what they're doing,
yeah.
because we don't know how much magic there is in how they operate right now.
Exactly. So I don't want to change their business model. As I said,
Yeah.
they directly customer, like whenever I go, whichever cab, they have a QR code. So here in India, it's UPI, Unified Payment Interface. So I
Mm-hmm.
scan the QR code and pay it directly. Now, how do we
And you
stitch
pay
it?
through WhatsApp.
Through WhatsApp, you can pay, of course, or phone pay,
Mm-hmm.
Google
No,
Pay.
but here's the thing,
Mhm,
Manish, you might not know this, but like at least for me,
mhm.
I can't pay in Canada through WhatsApp.
Yeah,
That was that's a specifically designed solution in India for WhatsApp payments.
yeah,
We don't have WhatsApp payments here.
sure, I understand. But by any electronic
Yeah.
means, the money should go from customer directly to the cab driver. However, it could
So
be.
you're talking about it's almost like it's a community of peer to peer. It's um, peer to peer taxi drivers.
Yeah, yeah,
The
They've created an
Napster of
economy.
taxi drivers.
yeah. Peer to peer.
It's a
It's
swarm,
a swarm. Yeah, that's a swarm. And yeah,
right?
their basic mantra: earn together, no commission. Like even if they give the lead, no commission, no problem, bro. I'm not available. Take it, enjoy. I won't give it to Uber or Ola. We are there in together. So yeah.
So let's go back to his desired end state.
Mhm.
What he wants to do is identify and help more people
Mhm.
move from point A to point B, specifically people going from the railway or the airport.
Cheaper than Ola and Uber, and
Well, the
get
thing is,
paid.
I
Mhm.
the thing is, I don't necessarily
Sure, sure. I understand
want to
what you mean. Oh
emphasize.
yeah, I mean, I see the idea.
That's why I
Gotcha.
asked how many of the customers believed in the mission,
Yeah,
because if they believe in the mission, they may pay a premium.
yeah.
You know how people buy green products,
Gotcha.
right? This would be a brown product. It's a brown product for brown people, right?
Yeah.
Julius Caesar conquered the world through generosity, kind of thing.
Uh,
Anyways, go ahead, Casey.
I wonder if it's possible to tie this into something like carbon credits for carpooling.
Oh, there we go.
mhm.
Good idea, Casey. It's dark. It's so dark.
You're welcome.
I'm so proud of you. That was perfect. How do I timestamp something? Hey, Mike. Mike.
No,
Okay,
no,
so that's me
Fuck,
timestamping it.
fuck, 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 fuck,
no,
fuck. There
Hey,
we
man.
go.
that's in the model.
No, 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 no,
Swear
no,
word.
no, no, no. Oh, in the API, you have an option to highlight particular, words.
I know, believe me.
Uh,
I can do it because what I do is I bring in the subtitles to Adobe Premiere and I now I can search through the subtitle
mm.
and jump to all the fuck. Jump to all
Hey,
the shits.
can you do a 200 character capture at a time?
There is an option. It says character limit for a
So,
caption.
you could do it because you're allowed up to 200 characters, and you could throw that into Wombo, and then you'd have a picture for whatever section that is.
Dude, hold on. What you just said there was crazy, but the if you can capture people by 220 characters, not only can you do Wombo, but you could take someone's speech and turn it into a tweet after a space.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, Manish? You just look through someone's speaker diarization and then chunk them by 220 characters, and then you suggest a list of tweets that they can tweet out based on what they said in the space.
Yeah, I remember there was some link you shared about it. Some
Wow.
AI.
Okay, so
Auto tweet.
Oh no.
yeah, you understand, right? The intelligent tweeting. When I asked it to replicate my tweets, it said delete emails, delete
Yeah.
all your emails, delete all your.
Yeah. Delete. I wonder why
Like,
it
yeah,
did that.
actually is pretty,
What?
no, it's pretty accurate, I think.
Ah.
That's exactly something I would have loved to say. I wish I thought of it. In fact, but yeah, imagine if we took Casey. I'll show you when you have time, Casey, like half an hour. I'll run you through all this Python shit if you want. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, Manish showed me. Actually, we should probably have. Well, it's Manish and Web3, eh? Manish and Web3 are a fucking terrible combination.
No man, it was fun. Web3 is really, I mean, high high end developer. I guess he thinks very well because development is not just typing the words or whatever. Thinking, there's a lot of thinking behind it. You know.
This guy had the solution from the beginning, and we only understood what he meant like 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there laughing at us.
Yeah. While we
He's like, "You guys are
hard-coded
gonna have
stuff.
a good time."
While we,
He's laughing. I think it was more enjoyable for him than us
oh.
because he just sitting back, And then Manish would dial the bat signal. Hey, Web3, how do you do that? Oh, that's what you got to use pandas for.
We
Right?
ended up
And then
not
that takes
using
us an hour. Oh yeah, because we use the straight to SRT.
That recording was 6 hours, XYZ minutes. Yeah.
You know what a good thing it is that Web3 lives where he lives, how he lives? If he was forced into living in the center of like a metropolis, I mean, that's a dangerous individual right there.
Well, how dangerous do you have to be to marry a cop? Like that guy's like a superhero walking on Earth. You know what I mean? That's the image I have.
Morning.
How's it going?
What's up, Richie
Good.
Rich?
I got a full 8 hours, like almost literally. Going to get some breakfast right now.
Nice. So you mean the date went well?
Fuck off.
So Manish, what you're doing, if even we helped this individual out a little bit, it sounds like it's going to help tens of thousands of people.
Yeah. He alone has
Who's we helping?
1,400 people, and the whole group, they say, is 50,000 people. I mean, the drivers. Now, imagine they contribute, just 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees per month, which they can. It's going to be good enough contribution to build a very good app with good number of, good, skilled people. And that's.
No, I was thinking like, what if, because you know how you can write WhatsApp bots and Telegram bots?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that would work in this case, or would that interfere with their
Yeah,
experience?
I think that's also a good idea. Um, as long as being pragmatic, uh, faster to the market for now. If WhatsApp and Telegram could help, I mean, we can do that. Who needs an app anyway? That's another story. But the payments, there are different customers who don't still pay through WhatsApp. They know the QR code, they pay, and to stitch it together. Mm, yeah, and plus other reporting stuffs, financials, and stuff like that. Uh, for now, they are doing it somehow. Bots would be just automating them and their stuff. But then the insights that you might want to get, perhaps it won't be. That's my thinking. But I think, should we invest in the bots, or should we invest in something that's an MVP that helps them get all the necessary, you know, information they need and the customer experience? For example, they would say, I want to book only with my favorite driver list. Okay, otherwise don't book it. Or they say, if any of my favorite driver is not available on the slot I'm booking, like tomorrow at 5, I want to go to airport. Tell me if any of my favorite driver is available. If they accept it, it's fine. If not, it will broadcast to broader group saying that whoever wants to pick it up, it's open for them. So now there's a lot of scheduling involved behind it, so that one cab doesn't get overbooked or double booked and stuff like that. So probably some of those aspects are very necessary in my thinking. You may think about Casey.
So, a quick question: do they have their WhatsApp location services on?
Do they have their?
WhatsApp location services on?
Um, I am not sure. Typically, I do send. Typically, I send my location to Suresh, and if Suresh changes the driver knows my location because I sent, and he shares it with the cab driver.
Does the driver ever share their location so you can track them?
One time it so happened that I asked him where you are, and he shared his live location with me.
I'm just thinking if they all shared, I'm not sure if it's expensive from the data, but if they all shared their location, you could combine the location services and their phone numbers to have a map of every car and where they are.
Yeah, that's what Uber does, but it doesn't explicitly shows you that. It just, if the driver denies, it takes that cab away from the map. At least in India, that's what happens. But then it would be good for the customer to see, oh, my favorite cab is around here. But sometimes
Yeah,
it is not necessary to see, because they would say, I want to book a cab tomorrow, for airport at 5 p.m., for example. And then when the time is nearing, the booking is done, that time they can see their cab coming in to their pickup location anytime they need. So that could be a good experience for there.
because if you have a WhatsApp list or a Telegram list, that means you have a list of phone numbers.
Yeah,
If you
they
have a
do.
list of phone numbers and their location services, then even if you don't
Mhm,
show that to the individual driver,
mhm.
you would be able to, help a customer out, right? Be like, hey, driver A, your favorite customer is about to land.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was even in some of the feature thoughts that I had today. I wrote some of the things, and I might want to share it with you. So first is book any of favorite drivers. This is customer experience. Book any driver. I don't bother. book specific driver. Okay.
Now, my
The,
question is, do they book before they leave the airport to go to the other airport? When do you think that second booking happens? Like, sorry, when do you think the booking from the airport to their home happens? Does that happen before they board their flight?
um, typically, like my
Yep.
experience was, I landed and then I called this guy. He arranged within 5 minutes.
Oh, so how long did it take you from the time? Was the car waiting by the time you got your luggage?
Yeah, it was there already.
Okay. So this
Yeah,
is a real time thing.
yeah.
Okay.
So the
So
5 minutes
because
was from
sometimes,
coming
okay.
from the parking to my pickup point near airport. Airport parking
Okay.
to my pickup point. Yeah.
Okay. So we really have an instant service. So the customer journey is the person gets off the plane
Mhm.
and they immediately go to their phone and book their car while
Yeah.
they're waiting for their luggage. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the customer journey. Gotcha.
Mhm. Mhm. And even if they forget, what I was writing is travel calendar feature, which means if customer wants, they will expose that travel to the app so that if their favorite driver is around at that time, we will book with their favorite driver. Or of course they will get, because the app knows that you are at the airport. Like, people are okay sharing their location, like I am at San Francisco airport, blah, right,
Mm-hmm.
publicly on Facebook. But with the proper consent, they can share it with the app and say, boss, I am here, and either I need a ride or don't need a ride. But booking may happen seamlessly, and then driver give my ride to someone else, let system choose, and he can choose someone else, but let system choose. Customer calls instead of app. So currently their model is customer simply calls, right? And I want to keep it that way. I don't want ask customer install the app now. No, driver can use his app to either take a
It,
booking or broadcast
there,
it to the other
there may
drivers.
there may be a lot of value in having a human in the loop, even in
Mhm.
the fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah.
There might be a magic
Mhm.
still in interpersonal human communications.
Yeah.
It might not be dead yet.
Yeah. In
For all
these.
we know, the worst thing we could do is introduce technology and
Yeah.
delete the human being from the loop.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, Uber, we don't really care about the driver. We don't even remember their face or have conversations much, at least from my experience. But of course, there are very less drivers who would click because they proactively did the therapy session, right? But uh, typically, it's very rare
How long?
case.
How long is a typical drive with a driver from
One
airport to
hour.
and wow?
1 hour, 15 minutes for my place. Sometimes it's 2 hour journey, depending on the how your location in the city. So at least 1 hour minimum,
Wow.
because it's, I think, 60 kilometers outside the main city. So of course the city is
From the
expanding, but it's 1 hour typically.
from the people I know that work in India, I find that they travel a lot.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Hmm.
And pandemic, maybe they have a little bit cut down there, but yeah, they're still traveling. Now it's
Okay, so
back up.
here's something I'm going to send you. Um, Here, let me send you a DM. I don't want to talk about this necessarily out loud. I'm going to send you a DM of, let's call him a friend I know in India. Check him out.
Hey, I've seen this guy. Meaning, you have already shared. Yeah, and I
No.
know we were talking about, uh,
Mm-hmm.
cleaning the ocean that day. You remember?
Uh-huh. So what I would say is that if you thought he could be of use, I could present it to him. I would just need to know what to say, you know?
Sorry, can you come back on that again?
So if you thought that you had something that would be of interest to someone like him,
Mm-hmm.
just let me know and I can reach out. I would just need to know what to say.
Okay. Okay.
Like if you thought these people are positioned for massive growth, they've proven their
Mm-hmm.
model,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna meet this guy, get some more data. And he says, once you meet, I will give you all the data you need because I asked him to start collecting data. But he says, yeah, I'll give you the data. Don't worry about it. You just come, we'll meet, and then we'll decide. We will do that app stuff. I said, okay, no problem. So in a way, he trusts me. I asked him when I come back to Bangalore, would you give me a ride? He said, what are you saying, buddy? Of course. So he,
Okay. So
I think,
here's what I'm going to do.
mhm,
What I'm going to do is maybe host a conversation between you and my friend, just as an
mhm,
introductory conversation, not about
mhm,
this specifically,
mhm,
just so that you guys get along.
mhm,
So that if you come to a point, you know,
mhm,
down the road, at least you will
mhm.
have already had the conversation.
Yeah, sure. Because one of the uh, uncertainty that I have is, can this guy convince all the folks to crowdfund this that it needs, plus all the support? So I think there's a lot of
Well,
opportunity
every
there.
day, I
Mhm.
mean, every day he wakes up, you know, you he's going to have to ask himself as he makes more money, how married he is to his morals. And that's true of anyone,
Mm.
right? But I'd rather bet on the person, not the company.
Yeah. So what? Uh, can you elaborate that a little bit more?
So, it goes back to crossing the river while feeling the stone,
Hmm.
right? In dealing with so many people, that any change you might introduces benefits and harms that you never intended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's kind of like surgery. And so
Yeah.
that's why I said, like, you want to be as non-invasive as possible. Maybe
Yeah.
there's some magic in the interaction of their WhatsApp and Telegram, because essentially a lot of these guys are, I imagine, driving alone
Yeah.
half the time,
They are. Yeah.
right?
They are. Yeah.
So these communication channels is their Twitter Spaces,
Yeah. Exactly.
and if you
And
take that away,
in India, typically, you might have families traveling together. So all the back seat is filled, even there's a person beside the driver. So there's no room for any additional person sometimes. And they are alone there. While these families chit chat together, they don't talk to the driver much. You know, the driver is chatting with their fellow drivers. So that's a great um, option that they have. Plus, if the driver wants to engage with the customer in some way or the other, given the opportunity and the
I I believe
benefits.
I believe fundamentally that there is room for companies that um,
Humanized
create,
transport. Okay.
well, that create value for drivers.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah. In
So
the era
most
of
people,
uh-huh.
I was going to say, transport is a race to the bottom,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And it's a race to the bottom because the interpersonal relationship between the driver and the drivee is not valued.
Yeah.
If there was value between the driver and the drivee, that would make some drivers more valuable than others,
Yeah.
right?
And the self-driving cars. But I mean, other than that as well, there is social value to the conversation, but it cannot be monetized or have not been monetized yet. And therefore, companies like Uber or Ola has not encouraged it enough. I mean, they're okay. Once in a blue moon, there would be posts that, oh my god, this driver was so good, 5 star, and he helped me, and blah. But then, if you see the percentage of that, it's not surfaced that enough. It may be happening, but it's not surfaced or emphasized or amplified that frequently, because Uber may get some or Ola may get some, marketing around it, social media and stuff. But more than that, what matters is what the actual customer and the driver felt about it. There is no focus on that per se too much.
hmm hmm I guess what I'm saying is that, and that's why I asked you what I asked you, which is, do you like the service so much that you're willing to pay a premium on top of Uber or the alternative within reason, right?
Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
maybe you're willing to pay as much as 17% more,
Oh,
right?
oh, okay.
You understand?
70%
No,
more.
no, 1 7.
Oh, 17% more. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
well,
right. It sounds like you'd be willing to pay between 15 to 30% more. 30% might be high,
mm,
right?
mm.
But let me ask you this: would you pay 30% more to keep your driver?
Maybe not 30, but definitely 15, around that. Meaning, I'm talking about Indian market or
Yes.
mindset. But
Yeah.
yeah, of course, more.
Okay.
At least 10% more. Minimum 10, up to maybe depending on, the added value, could
Yeah.
go up to 30.
I guess what I feel like. Um, let me ask you this now: is the person paying out of pocket for their own travel, or they're traveling on their company's uh, expense sheet?
Uh, well, once I see, I don't know, we cannot get that data much. In this case, the people pay directly to this guy, and then we don't know if they get the reimbursement, or something like that. So to bifurcate
But
corporate
you
travel
you see what
versus
you see what I'm
generic.
you see what I'm trying to get at, though, right? I'm trying to get at the class. I'm trying to get at the price elasticity of your market. Are you familiar with that? The price elasticity?
Pricing elasticity.
Yes. So
Okay,
what
How
hold
price
much
on.
more
elast?
can you charge before people won't use it anymore?
Exactly. Say that again.
How much more can you charge before people won't use it anymore?
Okay, hold on, please. Hold on.
First year economics coming in handy.
Yeah.
What you know
Okay.
about? What you learn about price elasticity, Casey? They don't teach that in Alaska.
Teach that on the streets, son.
Okay, how much more can you charge so that they would stop using your service
How much
altogether
more? How much more can you charge before they will
before?
not use it?
Okay, before they will not use it. Okay.
What is the maximum charge you can have before someone says, no, that's too expensive?
Yeah, yeah,
And it's elasticity because that's always going to change based on the person and the situation.
exactly. I got it. I would reckon 15%. But given the existing ruling in Karnataka state, I mean, somehow the government thinks Uber and Ola should not charge more than 10%
So
of the
here's
commission.
here's here's something to consider.
Hmm.
Have you ever watched a relatively wealthy individual decide they like something?
Yeah.
So John gave me a ride to the airport, and it was such a fun conversation that it lifted my entire day. I crushed the board meeting because of it. I
Wow.
accelerated my returns because I was in such a great mood from that fun conversation.
Hmm.
John is now worth 100%, 200%, 3, 5, 1,000% more than he's charging for that person.
It's no longer a ride in its experience.
Yeah.
Like just like people buy food,
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
ambiance,
Mm-hmm.
if you can make sure that no matter what we do, we don't disrupt. In fact, we try to amplify that experience,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, this is something small,
Mm-hmm.
but and they might already do this, but if they had like pictures of their kids
Mm-hmm.
in their car,
Mm-hmm.
believe me, you'd probably see them get more tips.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You have to explore the niches because for one person it might be family pictures, and that's probably a pretty good broad stroke there. But for another, it might be the daily market charts being displayed, or weather, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to identify the power drivers and talk to them individually.
Yeah. Another thing is Uber and Ola does not invest in their drivers or their, cars.
Because their drivers are seen as an expense, not a
Yeah.
profit,
Yeah,
not a revenue generating center.
exactly like employees and corporates. Corporates. I
This is
mean,
an opportunity for you to do something very different, right? And
yeah.
I think that more than anything, I think if you just executed on that niche,
Hmm.
you would have more than enough customers. Because how many people fly into Indian airports every day?
A lot of them. Very, very big chunk of number it is.
Yeah,
I have a new
And
titling for it. Duber,
do
decentralized Uber.
yeah, I
Duber.
was thinking about it, but no, not Duber. But I was thinking, you know what? Each of these people, how they organize, they have a person, like a focal point, and then some people grouped. And so they are really, it's like a network with nodes, and then with the node, you have a sub nodes. So because, like for example, Suresh, she says, I have 1400 people. So similarly, some people may have some people, but together they become 50 or 40K, whatever. But once I see the data, I'll get to know, oh my goodness me, how they organize. And we want to keep it that way because this is how naturally they have organized themselves. We don't want to change that at all because, typically no one would want to give their customer to someone, but they are giving it, right?
I would
So,
propose an L2 to that scenario. I was thinking about this earlier. If you have somebody who has such a huge social network that they're just giving leads away, like it's a job just giving the leads away, once you hit a certain number of leads distributed, the ability to monetize a small fraction of that commission might not be a bad thing. But they have to
yeah.
show that they've got a large enough volume, a sustainable volume to make that work.
You mean the
I mean, you have like a
commission
mat.
to the
So
person giving the
yeah,
lead?
yeah. So if I'm giving out, say 1,000, let's say 100 leads a day, right? I'm passing on 100 leads a day.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, how are you getting 100 leads a day, or whatever? Or if 100's normal, they've got 1,000, right? Whatever big numbers are in that. How are you getting so many leads? Well, I know a lot of people. Okay, let's take that additional work load that we want more of and give you incentive to continue exposing your network to this.
In India, it is something like this. Oh, you get a commission, so let me not drive. I will simply give the leads and sit back, relax with the commission. And so that this, I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad idea, but when we incentivize something, we are giving it more energy and trying to amplify it. So, in their current business model, when a driver like Suresh gives his lead to somebody else, he doesn't charge the commission. And he gets the same way the leads from others, and they don't charge. The only problem is of the distribution, either even distribution or somehow to their capacity, individual capacity. Like the driver would say, I would do 10 trips in a day, please. After that, don't give it to me. Whereas Ola and Uber would say, if there were 36 hours in a day, we would want you to do all 36 hours. So, to maximize their individual capacity, not maximize, to reach their individual maxima of that would keep them sane is what's beneficial in overall picture. Some driver would say I would do 10 from 9 to 12. Some driver would say, okay, I'll do 10 hours work, and within that, if I get 8, I'm happy. So that was my
All right.
thought process. Uh-huh.
So what if I'm a type of driver who has 10 hours available, but I'm only getting leads enough for 4.
Mhm.
And he knows I'm there, and I'm saying, yeah, I've got an infinite number of leads, and you can have them, but I do charge part of your commission if you want them, but
Mhm.
you have to come to me to get them. Would that flow in the philosophy of the business structure as a secondary layer, or is that think maybe too much weight for the structure?
Currently, it could be too much weight for the structure because thinking
Okay.
about monetization here, the I mean, we also would want to earn a little bit, at least some percent of money that would cover our cost, plus get some extra so that we can grow, right? And it would not be as much as Uber, of course, but it should be good enough that we can sustain and
Oh,
grow.
Manish,
Mhm.
can you tell me the service? I want to send it to my friend. I'm chatting with him right now.
The service. Yeah,
The yeah.
the Cadbury. What comes Cadbury? I don't know. CABUDDY. Does it exist? I didn't name it yet, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to my friend out there.
Cadbury.
you're just joining us, this is the Syndicate Disaster of a Podcast, Season 1, Episode 0, Metasode. Yesterday we had a disaster of a podcast. And I figured, I was trying to think, how do we have what we have already, but then also have something called a podcast episode? So I figured we could have a podcast episode and then in between kind of talk shit about it and then do with the things, the stuff like we're doing with Manish, trying to take over the cabbie world. And Mariah, what do you think?
I don't know. I wasn't there for yesterday. How disastrous? How bad?
And better, how was it a disaster?
Yeah, exactly. Like why?
Yeah.
Why was it? Yeah.
It was so disastrous that the best part is are the pieces that I can't post.
So was this like a setup thing? Like you're like, okay, this is it. We're gonna.
Well, not really. It was pretty much what we all already do, but I just called it at the top disaster of a podcast. And that ends up being a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy because of who it attracts in terms of new people. So people looking for a disaster come in and they find what they were looking for.
Got it. So it was a success then.
It lived up to its name. I'm not sure if we can call that a success. But
would you say that the disaster came into play by the way people were acting and interacting with each other? Was it the content? Like,
I heard some of the craziest truth from people I've never heard before. So, Casey, I sent you an example. You guys are close. You guys are close with Mel, so.
Well,
So
I don't know.
So the
the
success is in
autism
the
rant?
disaster.
Yeah.
Wasn't that great? Can't post it.
Yeah.
Fucking great though. So that's my only challenge. I think we have to move this to Rumble.
What is Metasode?
It's an episode about an episode.
Okay, gotcha.
I love that. Love that. Back it. 1,000%. It's fucking brilliant. How have I not seen that before? That's amazing. Hey Casey, hey, real quick, can I hey Casey,
yo.
sell any more?
No, not that I'm
No,
aware
not
of.
yet. Uh-oh.
No.
He's about to, though. Have you told Anna Mariah about your venture into Roblox?
Oh. Roblox kicks ass. It's so much better than anything any of the metaverses are doing. Like, by so much that it's disheartening.
I think I've heard you because I've
Little
been,
rant on that one.
Extremely busy this week working, and so I could only listen, and then half the time I can't. So I have been absolutely out of the loop for like a week, which feels like I've been gone a month. So, but I have heard you say something about roadblocks. Is it okay? Break it down.
Have you heard anything about Roblox before?
Not before Casey, no.
Half of all American kids under the age of 16 are on Roblox every month.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
Mm-hmm, that's why we don't know about it.
Yeah,
so, Casey, what did you discover about Roblox as opposed to Spatial? We love Spatial, but
Yeah, Roblox navigation in terms of like how you actually navigate and get around is so exponentially better that it makes it very frustrating to use anything else.
Wow, that's an endorsement.
Dude, they have got it nailed. They use a little digital joystick on your screen, and it makes the running around and moving in the environment so easy. So easy.
Okay.
And you can do anything. You can punch, you can shoot a gun, drive a car, you can like do stuff beyond just like wander around. You can interact with the environment versus just be in the environment.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Could what about can you make an art an art gallery in there,
Oh yeah,
and it would look fire like spatial
yeah,
in like the V Center.
sure, yeah, easy.
And
That's
but
that's
then make
easy
it like
stuff.
super interactive.
Oh yeah,
Dude, you should see what Casey did for Allie, my wife.
No, yeah, send it to me, Casey.
Casey, tell her about it.
Or tell me
So
about it. Yeah.
yeah. I set up a jumbo environment, large environment, and then we have pages of Allie's book shown with audio read through of the pages. So as you walk along this path, you're read a story, and you can free roam if you want and make your own story. But as you get close to the pages, they get louder, and then as you walk away from them, they get quieter until the new page kicks in.
Whoa! Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. So remember, like last week, I think, or last month. I'm gonna say,
Whatever.
where
Yeah.
I asked you, I was like, I have a really good idea for a book, but I need I'm looking for an illustrator.
Hmm.
I don't want to do it, but I want to. But you know what I mean. For me to learn all of that stuff, it's just a lot. So, and also I believe in collaboration as well
Right.
a lot of
Right.
times. So, yeah. So so this sounds. It sounds like my idea for what I want to do and what's happening right now with the capabilities. That's what's happening is like merging, and I'm really excited now. That's very exciting.
The only thing that I'm kind of nervous about is pigeonholing myself on one platform and not being able to use that material on other platforms. That's my only concern at this point. Like you can go from spatial to Decentraland with the same avatar, and as long as that theme continues, where you're interoperable among different metaverses, then sweet. But I'm a little concerned that like something like Roblox will make a small change with a big impact, and all of a sudden you got to like work to transition all this work you put into these environments and recreate the whole thing again. That's but that's it though.
All right. Yeah, I still have to send you the story. So I'll get on that today. I have a day off today, I think. When I don't know. I'm trying to go to Moon Tribe tonight, but I have to work tomorrow, and I work at like 6 o'clock in the morning, which means like staying up all night and partying in the desert, and then trying to find a way into town.
Sorry, hold on.
Trying to get.
I gotta bounce. I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
boss is calling
Oh
me.
yeah, bye.
I'll be
Okay,
back.
bye. Yeah, bye. Yeah, so that's my day. But anyway.
Yeah, Casey's the plug into the metaverse. I was like, hey, Casey, want to do the stuff I don't want to learn and do
Yeah, pretty much.
for
Yeah.
like 10%? He was like, how about 3%? I was like, well, what if we triple that? So I just don't have to do what I don't want to do. Right? Because I really don't want to do what I don't want to do. And
Well,
it's
that's the thing. It's like I have exactly what I want in my brain
Mhm.
visually, but
Yeah,
I don't want to learn how to do that.
yeah. I just don't
I don't. I can,
know.
but it's just gonna be annoying to me
I'd like
because
to learn about it, but I don't want to learn it. Like, I like the idea of math. I don't want to do homework. You can tell me about it. And if for such much monies you'll do it, then that's fantastic because I don't want to do it.
exactly when I'm like, hey, you want to illustrate it, and it's a 50-50 because with neither
Whatever.
one of us is gonna get anywhere without each
Hey
other.
guys, hey
So
guys, nothing sold. What have we lost?
yeah,
Nothing. Oh,
nothing.
okay. Well, let's just keep going then.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
You can't fall off the floor.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. Yeah, so yeah. I gotta do something. it's weird when your life pivots in a way that you didn't expect.
But you're working right now.
I am.
Which means you landed on your feet.
I did. I'm back to artist assisting, and which is great, honestly. So yay. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird gig, but it's not really. It's I'm in my happy place. You know what I mean? And away from a lot of other drama. So yay.
Well, I don't think you can fault yourself for exploring the opportunity.
No.
Right? You have more information than you did before.
Yeah, and I truly believe that, and this is going to sound super woohoo, but I believe that, I don't know, the universe is protected me, or I don't know, like something happened to where I was blinded by my own. You get blinded sometimes by you when you really want something and you don't see the whole picture, right? And then something comes along and then changes that, and then later you're like, oh, that's right. Like, I'm glad
with my friend.
like I'm glad it went the way I didn't want it to go, because it kind of saved me, honestly. And I have absolutely see it that way. And the second, I got the bad news and all this other horse shit about not going to Florida, like seems to be like something was lifted off of me. Almost. It sounds strange, but that's how it felt. And I just went with that. And I'm not upset. I'm like, hell yeah, let's fucking go this way instead. And instead of fighting and constantly trying to swim like up current, I'm just like, I'm not like floating like a jellyfish. You know what I mean? Like letting the current take me wherever the current is going, but more like a migrating whale.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that jellyfish that gets caught in a whirlpool?
No.
Caught and it's just jellyfish.
Yeah. Look, I have. How can I say this? Okay, when we were younger in Scotland on the beaches, like some days the beaches would be covered with jellyfish. As children, we thought it was fun to run around. This is terrible. Run around, and if you pick a jellyfish with a tennis racket, it looks like goo coming down through. Well, you know what I mean? It's like real life. Yeah.
I put it to the top. Can you see it? A jellyfish caught in an earring?
Oh my god, let me see. I'm gonna look at this right now. I'm not proud of our children. Oh my god. Oh. I wonder if it was waiting for it though.
Oh, you think that's like Wonderland for jellyfish? It's
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we're smarter than we think.
Maybe.
Anything that can enjoy itself.
That's right. That's right. And when you really look at animal behavior, they do things.
Yes. It's not all utilitarian.
No, we're not. Human beings have been told that we're the only ones. We're along for fun. That is not true. Not even close. Do you meet the koala bear? It just gets high all day. You know what I mean? Come on. That's its sustenance. It's like, or any animal. Look at your cat. Look at your dog. You know what I mean? It does things that it likes to do. Like the dog loves to like rub up against that one bush constantly. Maybe it's enjoying itself. Right. Anyway. Oh man. All right. I have to. Oh, Jeff.
So, can you give us a quick rundown on your is it children's book you wanted to do?
Oh, mine?
Yeah, you mentioned you need an illustrator, but you could just use Stable Diffusion and whip something up like in less than an hour, probably.
It is a children's book actually, but it's kind of like a book for everybody. It's an all ages book, we're gonna say. Yeah, it deals with the theme of trees and plants and roots and fungi and information going, information being passed. I can't really describe it properly yet, but yeah, that's that's the underlying theme.
Yeah, you need to mess with Stable Diffusion. If your hurdle is the illustrations, and you kind of have an idea, then it seems like that would be a good match for solving it.
Yes, it is. But I'm very into like I've learned over years that it's not like whenever I do a project by myself, it doesn't get done. But I've learned the art of collaboration is really fun and needed a lot of times.
I love that sentence. I'm not saying that the things I do alone don't
The
get
fun of
finished.
delegation.
I'm just
No, but
saying
it's good
that
to
there's
have
shit I don't like to
accountability.
do.
Yeah.
No, because you learn those things, right? And I think earlier on in my life, I fought those things, and now I embrace those things and be like, look, this is my part of the sandbox. If you're willing to be over there and do that part of the sandbox, I think we're going to be able to make a castle.
100% exactly. I've learned that lesson too. As he said before, it's not like I can't learn how to do all that, or I just find it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's all those failures, which are needed, right, for you to learn lessons of going. You can't do it all yourself. There are teams, and a team is maybe one other person or another, two other people. Yeah, I don't know. I think
But
I
it's
think
not an
it's just
issue of
this.
it being like Schrodinger's book, where the idea of the book is better than you'll start to pigeonhole it into something tangible, and then maybe it won't. You're afraid it'll be what you hoped it would be.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, maybe. I just yeah. That's interesting.
Because I wish this room element was really, really clean, but I'm not going to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, I just yeah, I guess are you saying like I guess I'm just trying to understand what you were saying there before. Are you saying like are you afraid of your success?
Well, sometimes it's afraid of the failure. Like, I don't think I can clean this room as well as I wished it to be clean. So as long as I think about how I wish it to be clean, then it's I don't know. My imagination of its cleanliness is somehow
Like
better than the reality it would
yes.
be.
Yes. And I think this is my move. I have to let go of the illustration part to somebody else because it will never be good enough, right? Because it's in my brain. And I have to just allow somebody else to understand what maybe, you know what I mean, and then just hand it off. Because if I do that part on my own, it will not get done. The writing part I can get done, but
See,
I
that's
know
why the
myself
algorithm.
too well.
You
Yeah,
you
but I
do
know
stable
myself too
diffusion.
well.
You do one
It's
prompt.
one thing that's going to
You do
stop me.
20 iterations. You pick the best one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you send me like a single sentence? I wonder what it would come up with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Can you just
Yeah,
post
I'll
that
do that.
in the comment thing or something so you can all see it?
Yeah, because I can just go to Playground AI
I mean, it really is. I mean, you guys can just. It really is just. It's about a potted plant, right? Think about a potted plant
Mm-hmm.
and how a potted plant is isolated from all the information of the world, right? Because the root system of when you plant plants and trees or anything in the ground, like they're connected by pretty much like as long as that root system goes, as far as that goes. But a potted plant is on its own. It's in its own echo chamber. So it's about a story of like family bringing home a tree, like a young tree and or a plant, and and it being on its own, and then hearing what the plant is, what on its own is saying, and then knowing that there's a whole other world out there that it's not connected to, but it sees the world, but it can't hear it, right? Can't feel it. But once it's planted in the ground, it all of a sudden can see and hear and feel everything. That's the story. And within that story comes I mean, multiple stories of over time that have been told. I mean, it's it's kind of like it's a metaphor for a lot. I mean, for a lot of things. You know what I mean? It's pretty metaphor for what I was just trying to say about writing a book on my own. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a story. So I'm sure there the images from that. There it's going to be very it's all very fanciful and root system and magical and things like that. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think of the story?
I typed it in. I like the idea that, you know, um, beneath the forest, you have this mycorrhizal network, right? But with a potted plant, it's cut off
It's
from
cut off.
that.
Yeah,
It's
it's cut
cut off
off.
from the fungus,
Yeah.
right? It's cut off from them. And even in a forest, it's not completely decentralized. You have these mother trees that are like really large
Yeah.
that help with the coordination. So it's cut off from the mother trees too.
Yeah, it's cut off from everything. It's cut off from help. It's cut off. It's like it's like, yeah, you're cut off. But then once the plant goes into the ground, it gets connected to, slowly connects to, it's a baby. It's kind of like, like yeah, gets introduced to a place where it really should have belonged all along. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wrote down a potted plant
I mean,
isolated from a mycorrhizal network.
yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. 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 So that's a story, and I haven't come across a story like that. I think it would be highly educational because you throw all sorts of education in there. You know what I mean? With metaphors literally of life. I mean, it's a life metaphor, human condition metaphor. It's everything. Yeah, I don't know. I came up with that with I don't know. I mean, obviously with my history of working in the gardening industry, land, whatever, and also just my love for trees. I came up with this story, and also reading books like The Mother Tree and what's this? What's the other book? I've got the other book up here. There's another book, which is fantastic. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just sort of like I was like, hey, this interests this because and then I have potted plants of my own. I have a lot of pothos. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, like they're not like they don't get to talk to each other. They're just hanging out, but they're surviving still. Yeah, but they're hanging out. I don't know. Anyway,
Let me see. I'm just changing AIs right now. The other one was Not having fun. A potted plant isolated from the mycorrhizal network. Let's see. Technically, that's true. Let me send you the first one it gave me. But, you've seen my wife's stuff and you've seen Casey's stuff. They're really good with this.
Oh yeah, no, their stuff is amazing.
So I guess what I would do is, I like this plant. I don't know why. Let me change some steps.
But then I think about air plants. You know what I mean?
Oh, the vertical farming.
Yeah, because I always found it so sad because I've worked in both indoor and outdoor farming, and I always found the indoor I don't know, the plants, they just seem like they're not living. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess I've just been around plants too long. Yeah.
So my mom has a. I was gonna say, my mom has the closest of a relationship with her plants as she does with me, probably. I hesitated. I was like, fuck. But sure, she's surrounded by her plants.
Yeah, dude. I love having my plant. I love having plants, greenery all around me. But then I'm like, then I feel sad. It's like I love having birds, right? I grew up with birds, and my mom,
God,
my grandma always had birds. You know what I mean? I love birds. But then at some point, probably I think like 15 years ago, I was just like, I can't cage a bird anymore. I won't do it.
All right. I sent you a couple more images.
Yeah, I
check
literally
these out.
You know, and I won't, and I refuse to have, like, I have a cat, but the cat's indoor outdoor. You know what I mean? I'm like, I've become very sort of like, let them be. You know what I mean? And I guess that's where my story of the plants come from. Probably.
Check out these images that I sent you. It's getting better.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Look, they even put the little green mushroom. Look at that. Separated from the potted plant.
I see that. Yeah. Yeah.
420. What's up?
Oh, 420.
So yeah, the other thing is that I was looking up I love like PBS and stuff, but the heaviest organism on planet Earth is actually a tree. It's called the Pando. Is easily the world's heaviest living thing, weighing at an estimate of 6,600 tons. The trees are genetically identical. One single male had made everything, and it's over 106 acres of hillside. So just one tree went and multiplied itself to make the hugest pot out of earth. Thought that was worth discussing. The other thing I'm doing is I'm just playing some music. So you guys ever want to hear any types of tunes, let me know.
That's fascinating. Yeah, there's also that hillside in Colorado, I think, with the biggest aspen. Like aspen living like also living like aspen grove. Same thing. It's just clone. Survival. No, it's fucking fascinating, all of this stuff, honestly.
Oh, my name's Paul, by the way.
Hi, Paul.
That helps.
Hi, Paul.
So mainly I just spend my mornings over here next to an RC Boss loop pedal and like 3 or 4 different instruments and just make something to sound like it's gonna eventually hit the airways. But if you guys ever need any intro songs for your spaces, just let me know. I enjoy making this type of stuff.
Oh,
Pretty
nice.
fun to me.
How long have you been playing?
Playing better. It took every day. Started thinking that it's easier just to have some awesome equipment around, and so I started early in like 2006, 2007, and just never really truly understood the power that I could draw from my creativity in this manner until it was like I'm in my 40s now and working on what actually sounds good, or what can I do to be a positive influence on people. Got some life still out there, and I'm over here in Washington State, so everything's just it's way better.
Where were you? I'm sorry, I missed that part. Or what part of America are you in?
I'm in Washington State.
Oh, Washington State.